So let's talk a little bit more about the mechanics. Once you get it down, like I said in my previous video, you pretty much have it down. You just learn new shapes and you go from there. But there are a lot of ways to approach sweep picking, and there's a lot of ways to approach these shapes. So essentially, you want to find what fingers work best for you. Whatever fingers you like the most, or whatever makes the most sense to you, try locking that in, see if you can get that. And if you don't like the way it feels, try something else. The biggest thing about really guitar playing in general is exploring and like trying to find new ways to solve the same problem. Because you never know what you're going to come across, and it might be something that'll blow everybody's mind, or it might be something that works really well for you. So when it comes to the fingers that you're using, just find what's most comfortable for you. I can't stress enough how important it is to explore these shapes and explore different fingerings and move notes around and try to figure something out with this. Because everybody's different with the shapes that they use. Really just try out everything you can. Now that's the left hand, dealing with the fingers and the shapes that we're doing. The right hand is very much the same way, in that however you feel comfortable with your up and down picking, do it that way. Like, some people prefer to hit a downstroke on the E string and then come back up for an upstroke on the B string, and some people like to lift up and just start with an upstroke on the E string. Whatever works best for you and whatever you find locks in the rhythm better, definitely do that. Rhythm is a very crucial aspect of sweep picking, and that's why I think it's important to start at a slower tempo so you can really articulate the accents that you need. Like, if it's in groups of 3, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. If it's in groups of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, like that. You really want to articulate that with your pick. Find the accent areas, find where the 4 counts are. And if they're in the middle of the shape, it doesn't matter, but if they're at the end, you really want to articulate that note. But whatever works best for you with your right hand, that's what you should do. Some people like to have their hand out like this, some people curl it in, some people approach at an angle like this, some go straight down, whatever works best. Now, one more thing about the mechanics. Sometimes we get pretty good at sweep picking, and then we just kind of get sloppy and we move around a lot. One way to clean your sweep picking, because that's a problem you're going to come across, is very sloppy sweep picking. And mine is very sloppy as it is, but if I practiced more, I would be cleaner if I did this. One way to get cleaner sweep picking, once you have the idea down, is to add weight to your right hand at a slower tempo. What this is going to do is really reinforce every single note that you're playing. An example is to take this A major using the C shape right here, and it just sounds like this normally. And what you do is you play it slow and really dig into the string when you hit it. That's what I mean by add weight to your right hand. So you're basically playing everything with so much intention that it locks your synchronization in a lot better, like this. When you play things more deliberately, you get the technique down better. Your hands begin to really reinforce that they know what they're doing. So you start at a slower tempo and it's not going to sound too good. You really hit every note with your right hand. And then you kind of up the tempo and don't take any pressure off your right hand. Go faster and still play hard. Again, it's not going to sound very good, but it'll help once you take the weight out of your right hand. This works the same way as wearing ankle weights. If you can do something wearing ankle weights, once you take them off, everything's going to be a lot easier and smoother and cleaner. So by adding this weight to our right hand, by adding this intention to our right hand, we're basically forcing ourselves to play this note very clearly. We're forcing ourselves to play the entire shape very clearly. And then once we start taking that weight away, it becomes cleaner and smoother. So you take that and you play it a little bit faster. Don't take any weight off of your right hand. Again, not going to sound very good, but this is just to get the smoothness down. So we keep speeding up and we keep the weight on the right hand until we have a nice solid circular rhythm. Again, it's not going to sound very good, it'll be choppy and it might get sloppy, but just keep doing it. So that kind of gets you ready for what's going to be happening. So then we go down to a slower tempo, one that we can totally manage 100%, and we add as much weight into our right hand as we can. Play every note as hard as you can without going crazy. So something like this. It's not going to sound good. So what you do then is you speed up, and as you speed up, you lower the amount of pressure that you're putting down with your right hand. And then you go faster and you take the weight away a little bit more. So basically, to get the mechanics a little bit better with your sweep picking, you start with a really heavy right hand and you just repeat that at different tempos. It's going to be sloppy, it's not going to sound good, but then you go back to a very slow tempo, one that you can totally manage, and you start with a very heavy hand, and then as you speed up, you gently lighten your hand up more and more. Or that's something that I've found that I do that really helps me out cleaning up my sweep picking shapes.